Either rise or fucking die! Sober.
Fucking sucks.
Boring, right?
So boring. I want to kill myself.
Fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram.
Man, shit, there's still no song that like does it like that. You know what? There's maybe like nothing that resonates more than that line, like how's being sober? It's like fucking sucks. It's boring. It's so boring.
Like, I want to kill myself. It's so true.
Oh man, I feel that so hard. We lived it. We lived that, sir.
We did. Yeah, we did. We did. And yeah, words don't ring truer. By the way, I didn't realize that Eclectic Method, was it like back in 2013, like Beeple had shouted him out? 2012, 2013? I feel like I saw
I wouldn't
a
be
post
shocked
of Beeple like retweeting something from Eclectic Method, like one of his videos.
Yeah, wouldn't be shocked. I mean, like that video we saw, that's like 10 years old. And yeah, he was big like back then, like 15 years ago. He was kind of about to blow up. He was like right on the cusp if he wanted it. Like on the Late Show, playing with like Chuck D. Like, yeah, man, he could be a dude if he wanted to be. And I just like that he prefers to be an artist. I love that. I love it. Good morning, guys. Who's here this morning? Edge is here. I suck with names. Lascivious. Oh, that's not hard. Lascivious is here. The Unspoken Truth is here. Good morning, guys. Pudgy's on the move. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's funny how less you care about a project when you're not in it. But that's cool. Pudgy's. Anyway, kind of playing around this morning. I got a little bit of a new setup, which I love. But like a new boom, a new mic. When you change out like any of your gear to it, like, man, it fucks with your lighting. Like you got to reset up everything. Good morning, Mr. Biggie Poppins.
What's up, brother? How you doing, GM?
Dude, GMs, freaking GMs. Hang on. There we go. Good morning. Looking beautiful this morning and rested, sir.
Yeah, somewhat. I
promise not giving you a hard time today. I will not give you a hard time.
No hard time. Just don't bring up 404s, and that's all.
Oh my God, dude! Don't say that because that's like the first thing we're bringing up.
I'm kidding, dude.
So, go ahead. Tell me.
I nailed it. Yeah, I'm Henry.
GM Biggie P. What's up, bro?
Not much, brother.
I like that.
No, I'm feeling good, dude. I finally managed to catch up somewhat. I think by the end of today, I'll be like back to like normal.
Fully back.
Yeah,
100% Biggie Poppins.
I hate a bloated email inbox. I don't know about you. It's like it weighs you down. Like I'm a big inbox zero kind of guy. And while I was gone, it was like 500 things that I needed to go through. It's been hell. But
It's
yeah,
not all just spam. People don't email me shit. There's nothing I even look for.
Do you want to know something? I thought of this yesterday when I was going through my Proton mail. I now treat email like voicemail. Like if somebody really needs me, they're going to text me or DM me. And if you're throwing it in my email without like a heads up of like maybe some document that needs to be signed or something, then it may or may not get checked. Yeah. I thought of that. I was like, is email going away? It's not going away, but is it losing its effectiveness?
I think it is. I think it does go away. Does it go towards, is it all just moving towards social media type things? These new like hybrid platforms? Like it kind of feels like it, which is okay. Right. But yeah, like email feels archaic now.
Okay, now I feel like a boomer.
Yeah, no, I felt like a boomer checking my mail, and I'm like, half this shit is spam, and then half of this stuff is stuff I don't give a shit about, and it's not crazy important. And now that you can attach like PDFs and DMs and documents and things like that, I just feel like it just makes it way more efficient than email. But I hate Slack, by the way. Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. I do not.
You hate Slack, dude. I'm with you. It drives me nuts. It's so unorganized. Even though you can organize it yourself, I can't get a handle on it. Like Slack, I struggle with tremendously. I don't like it.
Right on.
What can you do? Yeah. Guys, today's not going to be like, okay, I prepped you guys over the past few days saying today's going to be different. Today's going to be like a practice run for the real show, like the daily show.
Right on.
It's complete opposite. Today's going to be probably like as casual as we've ever done. We're heading out. My girls have like a little a band performance here in like an hour, so I'm expecting craziness in the background as people are getting ready. So casual Saturday. By the way, does this sound okay? Again, I switched to mic. I don't know that my levels are all good.
Man. And yeah, I do. You got it. Like it's a new boom and everything, huh? It looks
Check
legit.
This
dude.
out. It's like, man, I love it. I love how it's set up.
Classy.
I love how maneuverable it is. Like, I gotta get the lighting right. It's all different. I got the freaking ring light that's like right by my face now. Like it's all different, but up in the game, man.
You sound awesome. Do I need to stay muted? Pretty soon, a big EP. I'm gonna have my boom mic set up at my shop, so when we're doing this, I don't sound like a clown. But do I need to mute when not talking? Is it crazy loud?
I mean, it definitely does a little echo thing. I mean, it does. But I don't know. Anybody who's in comments, like, or in the chat, tell us when Henry talks or when we're talking, do you get a lot of feedback there?
What do you think, Choina? GM, sir.
Yeah, I love Choina.
Dude, me too, man. He's like me, ever faithful to his clan.
Yeah.
And I do love the Avagachi clan. So
is he Gachi? Yeah,
dude, big time Gachi.
Man, Henry,
do you guys know Lost Local?
No,
he's one of them.
Choina probably does.
Henry, you're like tight with the Gachi team, I think, to some degree, right?
Yeah. Like fairly tight. Met them. Stay in contact with them. Like great guys. I like them. Great builders. They don't get nearly enough attention.
I mean, are you catching wind that they're looking to move? Like move to another chain?
Yes.
They're
Yeah. Okay. Good shit.
Well, they have their I don't know what's out and what's not, but yes.
Gachi, maybe they have their own chain. But I think them on Ronin or Immutable X makes a ton of sense. You knowing something makes me start to think Ronin, which would be amazing.
No.
Okay.
But maybe some of your statements were correct.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Immutable X.
part of what you're saying is.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that part.
Maybe not even. Oh, their own chain. There we go. Boom. The Gachi chain. That'd be sweet.
Subnet, huh? That's cool.
Yeah, I love that. I'll do a little market thing, and I've not peaked, so this is going to be just like very, very surface level. I think today we got plenty to riff on. Obviously, unfortunately, the 404s. I think there's some good news there. Actually, I think there's a lot of good stuff that developed just last night. So.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Upgrade
really, actually,
to the contract or just like
from some real gangsters in the space, the guys that you want to build out that new type of standard to actually build it into a tokens.
Wow.
So I'll show you this. It's like a dream team. We got to touch on Solana because that was one of the biggest stories of the week, and we're going to touch on Quantum Cats. I think that's our big three, and then we just pepper in whatever else because why not?
Sure.
All right, hang on. Where's the screens? There we go. All right. This is going to get interesting. Of course, the Forecast 500, just a quick refresh, but the Forecast 500 showing the value of the NFT market. I think this is really interesting right now because crypto's pumping. Like everyone, I think at this point knows that Bitcoin is on its next leg up, right? I think we're done with that sell the news type shit, whatever was going on post ETF approval. Something's different. All the big guys like, Becker, and I know he ain't even the biggest, but the people who you follow and listen to are talking about it's time to go. Bitcoin yesterday, crossed 48,000. It dropped under that, but I do think this is the next leg up. This does feel like it's the next big run. When crypto's running, I think we're all in agreement here, right? NFTs take a back seat. They just do.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that
maybe even go down a little, right?
If you're hurting for liquidity and there's just not a lot of volume, you got to drop your price a little. So it's just what happens. But it's funny, like sometimes when NFTs slow down, you get that narrative of like, oh, NFTs dead, right? When we know it's like, okay, NFTs slow down because people are focused elsewhere. It's going to be fun that we'll be so bullish on NFTs. We're just waiting for it to kind of like trickle over, and we know it. We're so sure of it. So this is going to be a really exciting run here because I think Bitcoin and crypto has a different kind of potential this cycle. So how high can that go? And then once that's done doing its thing, man, what does NFTs look like? Yeah, it could be really, really fun here. What's trying to say? Gotcha Gain finding a new home back when Polygon Matic was chosen. Yeah, they definitely pivoted, dude. Yeah, they have. They're not that anymore. Clearly. Henry, you saw they laid off like 20% of their employees, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they're changing. They're now like, I guess they're structured to build out their infrastructure. I think that's or to support their infrastructure. I think that's really their thing at this point, which is perfect. Leaderboards, looking at cryptoslam.io as far as what's moving the market this morning, the past 24 hours. This is why the 404 conversation is unavoidable. Pandora's still there at the top. I'm going to say this, though. Yesterday morning's video, I said, I think the Pandoras are going to nosedive because of the conversation that started around them. Right, they got up to like 12 ETH. You don't see those prices except in, bull runs usually. Like, that's kind of crazy to go from the first time they were dropped in the idiots group, they were 0.6. And within like 5 days, they're at 12 ETH. Like crazy price action. But then we got like not FUD, but like some real tangible proof that it's maybe not the safest standard. So that's really what we're going to get into here in just a moment. But, I think those prices are going to nosedive. And actually this morning when I looked, they are absolutely starting to. Anything here catch your eyes, guys? Leaderboard-wise, Pudgy Penguins,
Pudgy,
actually.
Dude, Pudgies are insane, man. It's awesome.
Did they hit any kind of new high?
No. I don't know. What was the last price you left them at?
Probably 17, 18, and I see they're right around 20 now.
Yeah,
wow.
no, I think they hit like 20. I don't know. I just love to see it. It's great.
Yeah. News from Luca? Did anything come out?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Interesting.
I think this is just purely on the back of the Dimension airdrop that all of them got. Okay. But I mean, think about it, Huda. They got 10K per Pudgy, so half your Pudgy's paid for at this rate, right? Like, that's fucking nuts.
I love that model. I love that Luca never has to drop a token. Like, never. Why drop a token if you can get all your holders like token allocations from the biggest tokens out there? Like, it's brilliant. It's a model I think everyone's going to try to copy. It's super smart.
Well, we're seeing it with D-Gods now, right? And Wormhole, who's kind of, and Utes is going to do that, right?
So is that for a token drop, or is Wormhole, like, I know so little about that. Is Wormhole a protocol to go omni-chain, like to kind of bridge your assets?
It started off mostly as a bridge, and I guess that's what they're saying now, right? It was never only a bridge. But yeah, like it's D-Gods and Utes, I believe, we're going to get a slice of that. Although I don't know, we'll see how that one plays out, because I don't think Wormhole is nearly as interesting as Dimension.
Yeah. By the way, that meta, we've talked about it on that's circulating amongst a lot of people who are going to have some TGEs coming up. So it's like the new meta. I think what Pudgy got, I don't think we'll see a lot of, to be honest with you. I think we'll see much lower token allocations and token values. What they got is just
what specifically is the new meta though?
Okay, if you look at Pixels, they kind of did like a play to airdrop. Same with Nifty Island, play to airdrop, but you have these tokens or protocols that are launching that are looking to some of the top communities to just drop tokens to their holders for exposure. And what they're hoping for is that your holders will take a look at their protocol versus just dump the tokens. So
what better users, right, than us?
Well, that's it, and that's why they're like, they're looking to the higher valued collections, because I think that the theory behind it is, let's say like a Pudgy or a Punk or a Bored Ape or Genesis Kong or something like that. They think that somebody holding that is less likely to dump, let's say, a lower value token. I say lower value, like if you have an allocation, it's worth $300 or something, or $1,000. Like to somebody who has a PFP worth $200, they're probably going to insta dump it, right, for liquidity, where their hope is that a higher value asset's not going to be as quick to dump it. Otherwise, and here's the thing, it'll be interesting to see a year from now, are we still talking about that? Because my gut is a lot of people will just dump some of the tokens.
Yep.
A fair amount.
Gmeow English. Dude, always great to see you here. I know it's early for you. Well, it's not really. It's like 8:30, but good to see you here. There's Pandora right now, by the way. So at its highest was 12 ETH. Right now it's 9.78. But I don't feel good for them. I don't think they have. I don't think they got a lot left in them. The why not? Well, okay. Are they dropping a token other than the fractionalized, like the one you get, your ERC20 you get with this? And
I'm not sure. Like the thing that I started, mulling over is like, most of these new novel NFTs or protocols or what have you, usually, right now it's the I was first meta, right? Mm-hmm. And in this particular case with 404s, I don't like them. Like they're not pretty. Can we just agree on that one? Like they're not the most beautiful asset to behold.
Those Pandoras specifically?
Yeah. I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're supposed to reveal or if they just remain boxes.
Yeah, of course, right? Yeah, there's that mystery behind them. Or I mean, the fact that they're known as Pandora's box, I mean, implies that something's going to come out of it, sure. Right? Probably nothing good. I don't know if somebody studied up the story of Pandora's box, but I'm curious if this one is going to hold up as, hold its value for being the first, right? This the one that spearheaded this movement. This is the first time that I'm looking at him and I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah. How can it?
Let's see.
How can it if your product, the thing people are now spending that 12 ETH, which is like what, 25, 26, 27,000 bucks. If you have a guy like OX Quit who came out and said it's broken, it's not just a maybe thing. So OX Quit does a kind of a deep dive. It's technical, but not so technical that I don't think you can get the gist from reading it. Mm-hmm. But like TLDR, see if I can find the exact part here. You can steal NFTs from this protocol. I still wasn't clear if it was that you can like pull you can like buy an NFT for cheaper than you should be allowed to, or if you can literally find an NFT that's in the collection and buy it. You know what I mean? With some kind of some amount of that ERC20, but
like
steal
a backdoor.
Yeah, no. But either way, he said it's an exploit that he it's not like somebody could in theory do this. It might happen. He said I fully expect to see this in the wild at some point if it remains popular. It's clearly popular. They're clearly worth a lot of money, right? So that's going to happen. So I don't think Pandora's got much shelf life to it. I really don't. I think it's going to be like a pretty drastic fall just because of that. Like literally just because of that.
I want to hear your deep dive into it, because to me, I think it's a cool idea. But is it more of an update to what we already have as fractionalized NFTs, which are obviously in itself nothing new? So for that reason, it's like it improves something that already exists, right?
I think it's exactly
so
that.
To me, yeah, it's so to me, like it's it's like an update to an app on iOS, and for the most part, people don't really care what's happening behind the scenes. They're just like, oh yeah, this is a little bit easier. But I think it's cool. I just don't know if it's 10, 12 ETH cool. So
Right.
yeah, I'm kind of curious to hear if there's things about it that maybe I don't fully understand that make it like mind-blowingly cool.
I'll tell you like two things that make it really interesting to me. First off, you're right as far as like, you know, an incremental step. Gifted, he's the one who like put this, like he worded it perfectly. He made it really click for me. It's more about the user experience, right? We already have the fractionalization platform, so you can already do that. But to do that, you got to go on other platforms. You got to go like put your NFT in a safe. You got to fractionalize it. You got to start dealing with these other tokens. Let's use like flooring protocol as an example. You now got to deal with these million U tokens. Main point is you have to leave your like comfort zone and go somewhere else and learn another ecosystem to make that happen. Whereas now it comes to you. You can just do this right, I think, in Uniswap, right? These ERC20s, I think you can just trade right there. And that's how you access the liquidity side of that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a whole other platform and interface you have to do that part, but I don't think so. I think it's like a Uniswap type token. So it's the easy use, the fact that you can access liquidity quickly and play the fractionalization game without leaving anything that you're without going somewhere you're not comfortable or familiar. I think that's a huge win and probably the biggest reason why I think the token standard will work when it's done right. But I think the more exciting part of it is it's the re-rolling traits. I think there's something really cool about that, gamifying it. But especially when it comes to art, I think generative art could get really, really cool when you're going to have to, not have to, but if you want to play to re-roll and get some kind of like perfect asset or perfect output, you sell the ERC20 and then you buy another back and all of a sudden you've got a re-rolled NFT. I think that gets really interesting. Put that in the hands of Jack Butcher or put that in the hands of one of those guys who love playing with the tech, right? And just with ideas. And I think you'll end up seeing something pretty cool out of this.
Put that in the hands
deeper than that.
In the hands of the SEC, who absolutely hates fractionalization.
Yeah. Are they truly fractionalized though? Or is it just that there's like a token associated with it? I think they are fractionalized, right? But
I thought it is fractionalized. I thought that was like kind of the whole thing behind it.
And I think it's fair to say, right, Henry, that they'll try. I mean, it's exactly the type of narrative that they love to try and attack. So why wouldn't they? And, you know, the fractionalization thing is like, I understand why it's so attractive to a lot of people. And NFT finance is, I guess, how would you say it? Like it's got its world, right? It's got its place. But I wonder how many people actually use it, right? Like, and even then, like how many collections are even worth playing around with, right? You're talking about the top 10, 20, valued collections where you actually want to use that. I think it will become more prevalent as you go along, but I do think like the psychology of the majority of the people that will want to do that are going to feel more comfortable dealing with a company that has a front facing, like a front end, where you can with a customer support thing or something of the sort than just completely, abstracting that middleman part that we usually try to abstract away. Right. Maybe I'm wrong. I find it more, as a creative vehicle, I find it a little bit more interesting. I don't know about the re-rolling part because, like, I don't know when you say those things, Huda, I guess because of our conversation that we have, I keep going to generative art and like I keep thinking of like QQL, right? And even with QQL, what I like is that once you find an output that you like, you stamp it and make it permanent, right, for life. In this case, you always have that capacity to re-roll. Heck, you could even mistakenly press the button and re-roll an output that you already loved, maybe, right? And that you're never going to get back. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it happens. I love what, Transient Labs does in this regard. Like we've seen a couple of drops, like the Jake Free drop and all of that with the inscriptions where you can select out of a variety of different pieces that he's kind of imbued in that NFT. I really like that, where you can like, hey, I'm kind of like tired of seeing this same one. I'm gonna go in and switch it to something else. But it's a Jake Fried. It's a different like it was created by him and then loaded up, right? And you can continue. The artist can continue loading up new pieces like that. when you're looking at it as a creative output here with Pandora, I mean, there is that random number generation, right, aspect to it, kind of like QQL. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if a Jack Butcher or somebody like that can come out and make something interesting or that people will want, because to me, like when you're talking about random number generation, I'm thinking generative art. And as much as I love that aspect of it, the randomness aspect of it, I do think that its value is attributed to its finality, right? Like to its final form, and then it's frozen in time, right? And it's like it can't be recreated. That's where you get that rarity and that desirability from. And if you're gonna give somebody an NFT where you can just constantly re-roll for a better one, I don't know what an interesting application to that.
Well, what if you could have perks that are
That's
tied
cool.
to specific roles? Like you get a certain thing with a certain trait combination, and boom, all of a sudden you unlock something. And now you're kind of forced to want to keep it for whatever reason. Like I think people will come up with interesting ways to incentivize not re-rolling it.
I had an interesting conversation with Gmeow about this because like Meme Land has the, where you can interchange traits, right? And their whole idea was that they could have different artist packages. If X Copy did traits or Jack Butcher, anybody that you could equip to your captain. And I talked to Gmeow, and from like the artist perspective, he's like, yeah, but isn't the cool thing about NFTs that, like, to your point, Biggie, that you get this thing that was created randomly, let's say for a lot of collections where you have like the RNG, trait generation, where you get this thing that just happened to roll in its finality. Isn't that something that's really alluring on most of the major projects that you get, whether it's a zero trait or you get a grail, and the idea that can change over time, that can start to have an effect on devaluing other NFTs if whether it's the same traits are available or one other thing I was going to say to what Biggie was saying about fractionalization just in general, there's a company called Co-Museum. They're out of Hong Kong. They actually have a mint coming up, and they do cool shit with real, physical art, but also with NFTs where, they have Monets and Banksys that they actually have stored in an actual vault. But they did a project with Azuki where they have one of the golden skateboards, the one that's signed by Tony Hawk, and they're going to be fractionalizing that as an open edition, so anybody can buy a percentage or an NFT that represents a percentage of that golden skateboard. So I think to your point, having fractionalization for higher dollar NFT assets that are actually stored with a company that, in their case deals with physicals and digital assets. I feel like in that scenario, it could be cool, because if like you could own a fraction of the Mona Lisa, awesome. But for the majority of NFTs, I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, who cares about owning a fractionalized version of 99.9% of the NFTs that exist right now?
Couple quick thoughts, and then I'm going to bring it back to like Pandora itself. Yeah, I agree about the thought that like things being permanent. That's a huge selling point, or that's something that's super appealing about NFTs. I love that. I was hoping with this protocol that it's like it becomes so expensive to re-roll that it becomes a gamble. And I don't know if that's how it works on the ERC20 side, on the liquidity side, but it's more like I got a nice one, but if I want to pay 2 times what it would cost to just buy the NFT or whatever, if I roll this perfect combo, then I get this. Like there's going to be an interesting way to really gamify it. Somebody just has got to build out a system that makes, encourages you to keep what you got. And then the flip side of it at the same time, like encourages you, incentivizes you to play that game. I think all that just benefits the holders, the community of that, because the liquidity, the way the price action could really swing. I think that's probably where the biggest incentive in this comes, outside of like the creative side of what somebody that is a creative, what they could do with it. It's the financial side, I think, that has the most potential.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, if you want to jam a little bit more on this idea of permanence, I really think it's something that we're going to see challenged in the very near future. I know you've heard me talk about it, Huda. I wonder what Henry's take would be on that. Is like I'm very psyched about teleburning, right? Like I find that mechanism very interesting, right? First of all, because of the attractiveness of just having your pieces on BTC, and because degens will do that. I do think we're gonna see some degen teleburn a Fidenza or a freaking Squiggle to play the first meta.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what the artist, the creator, thinks about that, how they react, you know. And again, going back to this idea of permanence, I do think there are people that are purists, right? Like, especially if you minted that Squiggle, right? If it came from a hash interact of your wallet interacting, say, with the Art Blocks protocol, right? Like, that's the canvas, that's the genesis story, that's the seed. If you sever that, does it keep the value? And even then, is it really severed? Because actually, like, from the contract point of view, the umbilical cord connecting it to the original contract in Ethereum is still there, right? But now it lives in Bitcoin. I'm very curious about what the can of worms that this is going to open up. I think also, like, to your point, Huda, like, as a creative vehicle, I find that more interesting, right? To see if I can see Jack Butcher or somebody like that playing around with that, right? It's like minted over here on Ethereum, teleburn it to Bitcoin, and see what happens. Like, even then, like, you can probably program it to change, right? So that it's like, well, do you want to keep it on Ethereum or do you want to go to Bitcoin and see
what if Jack Butcher had the mechanic of, okay, there's a very specific trait you need to teleburn this NFT over to Bitcoin. You roll it, great. Now you got that trait. You can sell it on a marketplace.
Now we're combining the two.
Exactly. So you list that on a marketplace and hopefully it fetches a premium. But if somebody doesn't want to pay that and they want to take a chance re-rolling by playing the ERC20 side, well, now they got that incentive. They want to get this Bitcoin NFT as Bitcoin check. Let's just use that as an example. If you could take a check and re-roll it to hopefully get that trait, that's just bringing that volume to the token itself. And then, you know what I mean? Like, there's just some really interesting potential there.
Could you ever stop somebody from teleburning though?
No.
Like, could you even gate it with something like a trade? It doesn't seem. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you could.
No, I would say so. I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah, you can do that. Like, from what I understand, though, it's like if you own the NFT, if it's in your wallet, you can teleburn it.
That's what I mean.
Maybe somebody comes up with
through like
a
Jack
that prevents it.
Right, like anybody could teleburn anything of theirs, but if you want to do it through Jack Butcher's contracts and his processes where he recognizes it as officially his collection, then he says you need this specific trait.
Yeah,
so
gotcha.
But of course anybody could just teleburn anything. But okay, so the specific point here still, Pandora's fucked. That's my take. That's what I really believe. Okay, because it's back to the code not being great. Like, look, average sale price already, it was high, so of course it's going to pull back. But yesterday's the 9th? Yeah, yesterday's the 9th. Almost $27,000 was the average sale price. Today down to $20,000. And I got to believe some of that is because of the OX quit stuff. Him saying, again, it's going to happen. Someone's going to be stealing NFTs from this protocol. Okay, now enter the guys who are going to fix it. This is cool. This is what I was really excited to show you here, Biggie. So Saigar, let me zoom this in.
I like Saigar.
Yeah, he's great, right? Gonna write a better ERC 404 implementation with some of his big brain friends. Like, that's exactly what I want to hear. I want to see guys like him see the value in this protocol, and I want to see him do it right. If they're worried that the other way that it's being done is wrong, okay? So already he's got OX quit on this team.
Rising up to the challenge. Can we get a whitelist, sir?
Right, dude. Keep your eyes on this because this was tweeted yesterday, and they want to have this new one out in 24 hours. So,
oh my god!
At least the code. What they do with it beyond that, not sure. But their goal is today to have out this new ERC 404 protocol. People are hoping it's going to be the ERC 420 for whatever reason, just because.
I don't know why. Why would they do that?
It's for the culture, whatever, right?
But hey, Huda.
But these guys see the value in what was done. Like, I don't think they would put all their time and energy in something that they feel is just a fad. I think they saw, like, you know what? Okay, the use case that is a little new. That is a lot of new. Like, that's interesting. That adds an interesting new dynamic. Let's build it the right way.
Okay, I'm very curious to see. I don't know. Like I don't know. It's 405. Yeah, it's ERC, so it's only Ethereum. I would like to see this implemented on L2, to be honest, because if it is a very interesting thing, and people do take to it. I would hate people having to pay the freaking Ethereum fees every time they want to re-roll. That's very prohibitive.
Oh man, yes, it's already on base. I already bought the
Oh, yeah, I saw
ERC20
that.
side on base. So
Swapper, right?
base is definitely hitting that stuff. I think we'll see it everywhere. I do think so. Interesting thing. I mean, man, you start a week and you never know what's going to come. You don't realize what can happen that can just change the face of NFTs. And whether that's just for the week or whether that's like, for the long haul, a new token standard that caught everyone's attention, that drove, the biggest project of, easily of the year so far. But let me look. Past 30 days, Pandora's, they're number one. Although, okay, hang on. If Quantum Cats was on site, I think Quantum Cats would be higher.
Is there a way to do that?
We're working on it. I guess the Ordinals protocol updated how the inscription process or something. So we hadn't been picking up stuff like RSIC, not on the site, Quantum Cats not on the site. That should be up within the next couple days here. We already started working on upgrading it too. Now it's going back and crawling all that retroactively. It will all be on the site for sure. But let's do some quick math here. I want to see already the 30-day sales for Quantum Cats, which I think we should talk Quantum Cats. 360 Bitcoin.
Jeez.
I can't math, so I'm doing this.
And you yanked French Montana out of the gutter with Quantum Cats, so well done.
Yeah. Wait, that's only 17 mil, so Pandora smashed him.
Did he show up in the Discord, Huda?
No. He used to be in the Kong's Discord, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He came in and did like a AMA. But he's a grifter of grifters, but it's good for marketing, I guess.
I think most of them are. Oh shit! By the way, guys, totally unrelated, but new Kanye album actually came out last night. It's fucking awesome.
Really?
It's so. I was expecting typical Kanye. Everything kind of sucks the past few years for him. I like all his albums. I liked the Jesus is King album, and I loved the one that he did with Dre. That version was awesome. What was his very last album? Come on. Oh, Donda. I love Donda. I love Donda too. I like everything he does. But again, I know the quality is not the same as Life of Pablo, Yeezus, all that stuff. It's not the same. This one feels really good. It's really different too.
Okay.
Man, I'm loving it so far. So
I'll check it out.
Right. Little beef with Ozzy too. Well, I don't know what you said, sir.
You broke off, Henry.
He hits a point in his drive where he loses signals every time at that place. You want to try again?
He's probably going through the tunnel right now. I was curious to see if he would be. Does he sound the same after what he did to his teeth?
He does. He sounds the exact same. I love that his daughter's on a song. I think it's adorable, and I think it's just going to be cool to watch. Well, shit. I was going to say it's going to be cool to watch him mentor her and usher her into the space, but also, yikes. You can see, though, you can just tell from the music video and shit, as fake as it all is, you can see she's got that same fiery spirit that he has. So we're going to get this little mini Kanye, and I think clearly she's going to be a superstar, man.
Can I ask you a quick TMZ type question?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think has driven Kanye to insanity more? Kanye, or is it the curse of the Kardashians?
Kanye. He's always been like this. Always.
Okay.
I've watched so much Kanye stuff from back in the day. He's always been like this. Always. None of this is new or shocking or anything. He talks about stuff he says today that's shocking. He was saying the same shit 15 years ago. It's honestly true, and I've been surprised by that. I didn't start being a big Kanye fan. That's only over the past 5 to 10 years, really. Somewhere closer to the 5 or 6. I wish I could think of exactly where. I wasn't into My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy when it came out. It was probably shortly after that I started being oh, okay, he's fucking cool. Probably the next album, the Yeezus album, is the one that I'm oh, he's a different dude. He's always been a nut though. Even on this album, actually, there's this little cut of Mike Tyson talking about him, I think on the Joe Rogan show, and he's and Mike Tyson's yeah, of course he's fucking crazy. He's but he's a leader, and all leaders are crazy. And it was much more than that. But the way he explains it, it's he's a lunatic. Kanye's very fucking self-aware, and he is a leader. And then it ends with the I am a god like from his song, which is awesome. I love it. He's a fucking character. Okay, next. We got two options here. I think it's going to be Quantum Cats just for the sake of time and because it's so relevant, but also Solana. Let's do Solana because it's a little quicker, and then we get into Quantum Cats because
I
there's a
hope
little
Henry
alpha
comes
here.
back because I'd love to hear Henry's take on that.
Can you hear me now?
Got you now, loud and clear.
Okay, cool. I'm back. Welcome. Thank you, sirs.
So Solana, let's set up the stage here. I don't even remember what day, the 6th. So like Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday. Solana was down, like full on fucking down. You cannot transact. Scares the shit out of Solana holders. Not really, because they believed it was coming back up. But I think a lot of people still didn't realize it's not just that they're down for 5 hours and they're worried about sentiment and worried about token price and all that. The Solana Foundation has a set, like a standard or a rule. They need to be up for 12 months straight to exit beta. And when you go look at the Solana like support or status Twitter and their page, I never realized this before, but it always says Solana mainnet beta. Solana is still in a beta, and to get out of it, they need 12 months of constant uptime, no downtime at all, not even a minute. So they just reset themselves back a year. So what does that mean as far as like, well, what can you do when you're out of beta that you can't do when you're in beta? I don't know. I wonder if they've got certain like investments that are waiting on it. It's like, get out of beta and then we're here and we're going to do this and this and this, like, I don't know. To me, that seems like just something that makes sense. Maybe there's some money sitting on the sidelines waiting for that point. Like, prove yourselves, go 12 months with no downtime and we're in. So yeah, they set themselves back 12 months. Crazy thing is, didn't fucking affect their price at all. Token price up, NFTs ripping. Okay, you guys, what do you think of that outage and does it matter?
You go first, Henry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this is all stuff we've known, right? I mean, any I don't even want to say ETH maxi. The issue with Solana was it's not super decentralized, and everyone comes back and they're like, yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. And for a lot of things, it doesn't. So like, it's back online. That's great. It's what makes it, to me, nowhere near the type of chain that like Ethereum or Bitcoin is. When there's I don't even want to say a kill switch, when the network can just go down, which it's done before, that to me, that's a problem. That's a problem, right? Imagine you've got millions locked up there and you just have no idea when it's coming back online. I don't know, that to me defeats some of the purpose of some, not all, but some of the purpose of blockchain, in my opinion. If we're looking at this as a way to kind of take the authority away from authorities, governments, etc., it's reminds me more of Google than anything else.
It tells me the government could come right in and shut it down if they if they wanted it, right? The fact that they can take it down on their own, where Ethereum, like, it would be impossible. Like, the government cannot say you must turn off Ethereum, but Solana, they can turn it off, right? So that does add something a little scary to it. For me, it still just scares me off from buying expensive NFTs. And I hit that threshold when I was looking at Rubber on Magic Eden.
I remember that.
It's like, I'm like, okay, I was really interested in getting one. But that is right at that threshold where, dude, when I was looking, they were like 15, 16, all the way up to 20 SOL. So not cheap, right? Like a pretty substantial investment. But man, at that price point, that's where I start thinking about downtime. You put some money into something and you got to now deal with potential downtime at the moment. Like, sometimes you only have a small window to sell something, to make your move. And they're prone to outages.
And Buddha, this is like NFTs, right? Like, it's a much smaller, slower moving market. I think, for Solana, which was purpose built for high throughput, like financial transactions, yeah, it's alarming. And I appreciate whoever set that standard. I have a feeling that's Anatoly, just setting like a really high bar to feel comfortable, right? But maybe like you said, there's definitely projects out there that are like, we're not touching this until we can see a year fully of uptime, man. But yeah, imagine if you have a loan outstanding and you need to repay it, and for whatever reason you're down to the wire, and then all of a sudden this happens, right? What's your recourse there? Shit.
Imagine that there is a chain that you could build on where you don't even have to factor that into your decision making. Like, oh, I don't ever have to worry about this going down on an L2. Like, imagine, which by the way, obviously I'm being a shithead, completely exists. It makes me think, like, why? There's so many options out there. If you are not on Solana, what about that makes you go like, yeah, that's okay. You have you have an entire fleet of vehicles to choose from. One of them has the potential that when you're driving, there's a little hole in the bottom that can literally drain your gas instantly. And you're like, okay, well, that's the car I'm not going to go in. If I know which one it is, I'm just not going in there because I have all these other ones that will never have that happen. So to me, I'm just like, why?
It's a really interesting
that car
take,
analogy. Yeah.
right? Like, that's a great freaking take. Let's see what English says here. What is Fire Dancer, sir? By the way, I think we got like 16 live watching over on YouTube, so appreciate you guys tuning in.
Fire Dancer is the EVM compatible counterpart on Solana that they're trying to, release. I think, Craig, I don't know, the audience might know better when it's slated to release, but from what I understand, it's Q4, Q3, maybe. But that's one part where I know I've spoken with you, Huda, which is very impressive that there's other chains like Say that are front running this particular use case, right, or application. And if they do, that's going to be pretty massive, right?
I mean, could you explain what it is it exactly
Q3
does?
It's a backwards compatible EVM, vehicle or what have you, right? EVM being an Ethereum virtual machine, but it's using, Solana's parallelized, God, I'm blanking today, consensus mechanism, right? So it's basically you're using Solana infra, but you're using an EVM on top of it, like a layer 2, what have you, that could be really, really useful, right? Now, the thing that I'm curious there is like how easy it would be to port over apps, because I like when people sell you this idea of EVM, you imagine that you're just able to copy past the code from one place to another and it'll work flawlessly. But that's not the case. It's not the case with ZK EV, like with ZK rollups. There's some that are coming out now where they like directly translates and you don't have to do a lot of like tweaking to the code. But for the most part, you usually do. I'm not too deep in the weeds with Fire Dancer to know if that's something that's gonna work out. But I know Monad, I know Eclipse, and I know Neon Labs, which I believe is the Fire Dancer, that was mentioned here, are like 3 different projects that are trying to tackle this in like very distinct ways. I think Monad and Fire Dancer are like EVM, like layer 2 kind of things. I do know Eclipse plans to be its own L1, using the parallelization infra, but being Ethereum EVM. Interesting. But, this is like, again, like Pandora stuff. Like I want to see it thoroughly proven out before I dip my toes in the water.
And Say, you think it's a front runner for all that?
Yeah,
yeah, or just because we like Say so much?
I'm still doing research on Say in that regard. Like this is stuff that I really like to get down on, but so there's certain things that I do like that I think Say has an opportunity, a golden opportunity, a golden window right now. 1, if it can front run Solana and get there faster. 2, if it doesn't crash like Solana, right? Like I think it's not you don't have the same amount of users that you do on Solana. So as far as sample size is concerned, the fact that it hasn't gone down right now doesn't mean much to me. But if it can front run it and launch an EVM compatible protocol with parallelization and it works and it's fast and it's seamless, that can be huge. That can definitely do something in terms of maybe, I don't know, eating market share, whatever you want to call it, right? But what I'm mostly interested in, Huda, in this regard is that I have spoken to several devs and engineers, and they all love doing, their working with Say more than with Solana.
Huh.
And from what I understand, it's just faster to ship product on Say because of there's like slight nuances on how Say was built. They're both parallelized chain. One of them is optimistic, the other one is deterministic. Deterministic being Solana is like the more elegant consensus protocol, but from what I understand, it's also requires you a lot more like foresight when you're developing your contracts because you have to like state things, right? But like once you do it properly, like it's very hard to crash it, right? Whereas with Say, think of it more as like a optimistic roll up where it just assumes the transaction's all right. You can kind of check it, but if not, it can cause a little bit of havoc. But from what I understand, it's like it's easier to ship stuff, and I see devs really enjoying that ecosystem over there. Like they're like, yeah, it's so much better. Like I can ship stuff faster. It's not just the parallelization consensus differences. There's a couple of other things like the routing of transactions, asynchronous versus synchronous, transactions and other stuff that I'm still trying to geek out and understand. But that's, that saying, like the best tech doesn't always win. I think they have a golden opportunity in this moment to really prove themselves out. And if they're able to capture, especially the devs and the users, they could really have something in their hands, right? Because I think Say is interesting. It's like a hybrid between the two. You get the Solana experience, but you have the Ethereum culture there, and at least right now, it feels very kumbaya. It's such a small space. Everybody's collaborating. There's not a lot of infighting going on. So culture-wise, I think like they're definitely setting a nice standard base. Hopefully it doesn't get corroded. It will somehow. We know that, right, Huda? Like degens will always come. I think the grifters are already appearing, have launch pads, popping up left and right. But yeah, I think if you can couple that with the high throughput Solana experience and it doesn't crash, and you front run them with the EVM stuff, damn. I don't see how that can be bad for Say, but let's see. It's such, I don't know, man. I love this space because of the speed at which it moves, but at the same time, it's like high stakes money games with also degens, which are, mostly kind of crazy.
I have really high conviction that years from now we'll look back, and I'm not saying Say is not going to make it, and I'm not saying Solana's not going to make it. I just think years from now, there's a really good chance we look back and just see that it was the L2s on Ethereum that really won out. It's the chain that's being built on the most efficiently. It's the chain that has, look with the 404s coming out. Like people are building on ETH. When you have things like Solana that can just be shut off, that just aren't quite good enough. They want to be EVM because they're not on an Ethereum like L2. I'm just like, you can actually build off of the chain, right off of the chain on an L2. You don't need to create a whole other chain and hope that it's okay. There's actually, you have Arbitrum and AVAX and all. You might be able to argue Polygon, even though people have their debate of whether that's truly an L2. But yeah, I just think it'll be funny to look back and see, like, was this the time where all of the chains were competing to try to be the next Ethereum? And years from now, we look back, we're like, hey, it was really just the people building on the L2s that really won out. Could be wrong.
I mean, I wonder. No, I agree. Like, I think it's almost like proven out, right? Like what you're saying, like the fact that every single different L1 out there building infra to have a faster throughput or better consensus mechanisms, all of them, like top of mind is an EVM compatible, entry point, right? And like it's because it is the common tongue of the Web3 space. And I agree with you. I think they've all come to terms with that now, and that's why all of them have that EVM. Now the theory here is like, can your infra be a significant improvement over, say, the current L2s on Ethereum? And in that regard, like I'm still not 100% sold, Henry, right? Like I've been waiting for ZKs for a while. I'm very bullish on the ZK narrative, and I love the data availability play and how that enables faster throughput and less bloat. But kind of like with Bitcoin, I do feel, at least listening lately to a lot more say and parallelization maxis, I do feel there's like a wall that you eventually hit with Ethereum. And I don't know, maybe that's going to be resolved with dank sharding and all the other stuff that's in the roadmap further up ahead. But again, it's a little far off. I still think the reason you see all these different protocols and chains still continue to pop up with new methods of, better nodes, lighter nodes, and more faster throughput and what have you, is because there is competition for that infrastructure play still, right? Especially if you can make it backward compatible with Ethereum EVM and just make it a seamless transition, then why not? As long as you're settling on Ethereum and the record is there, then I think you're good, right? Because if that infra falls off, then you can just go to another one and pick off where you left off.
Yep. I love it. Great takes, guys. I'm going to move us on to, it's got to be the Quantum Cats ecosystem. But Choina, appreciate you joining, buddy. Have fun with the gotchis. Hang out and Dow out, dude. I want to attend one of those. Henry, we got so many gotchis and land and shit. It'd be interesting to check back in and see how all that's going. But yeah, man, have a great weekend too. And again, I always appreciate you coming by and watching and participating. Man, okay, I'm going to do Quantum Cats next because I also want to get to Yuga Labs FUD, but also I do think we'll hit Quantum Cats and I think
let's do Quantum Cats.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say other than huge fucking success and also extremely exciting. I'm so not prepped for this part here. But let me just pull up the collection and we'll start from there. What's wild is what you see right now. The Quantum Cats you see right now is not what they looked like day one at all.
Dude, that Cheshire Cat on the bottom left. God.
This guy?
Yes.
Dude, these are amazing. Oh, so the mint, first of all, was fine, right? Couple hiccups here and there for some people, but for the most part, smooth mint. It was fantastic. Got our cats, and I mean, what next? You just wait the next day to get it in your wallet and then off to the races on secondary. Now, it may be actually, Edge and I had a little just like a friendly competition. How high would they get on secondary? I don't remember if I said 0.36 would be their peak or if it was 0.31, and he said 0.26. And I also don't remember the terms, if it was just like day one. He nailed it, though, as far as when I sold my first. I sold it when it hit 0.26. So I give him that win. He won. He nailed that price there. At their peak, what did they get to? Like maybe 0.233, something like that?
0.3, no? I could have sworn I saw them hit 0.3.
They definitely got over, and I don't think 0.35. I think I might have pulled the trigger there if I saw it, but I do think 0.33-ish or so. Yeah. Actually, it's not like such high volume that you can't go back.
Smiling at me, man. It's literally taunting me.
Dude, 0.35 basically they got up to.
Wow.
Yeah, really impressive.
Shit, I saw 0.44 somewhere around there.
So
too.
People are definitely hunting now for certain ones. There's a lot of Easter eggs in it now that they actually put the traits in. Like there were none of the traits, or let me back it up. These are going to reveal over time as far as how the traits will populate. So before we got basically our base layers and no traits really. The very next day, though, we got our first trait reveal, and I think some people got multiple traits. Like the background updated, but there was also some cool stuff that started appearing on some, and they're all going to be updating on a different schedule. They're all very, very different. Hey, good morning, Tickle. Good to see you, man.
That's a good name.
I love it. You know he's my older brother, right?
No.
Yeah, Tickle's
no,
Tickle's our
dude, I'm
brother.
still getting to know your idiot crew, man. I need to hang out maybe a little more in the Discord. Yeah. I've been calling the herd, but I do like the idiot Discord. Pretty solid group of fellas you got over there. Yeah. I did not know Tickles was your brother.
It's a very, like, I mean, of course biased, but it's a special place. Like we just have
brother,
so much
right? Like not like Kong brother or whatever, like biological.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. So me, Tickle,
you were
Henry.
Minted by the same mom.
That's exactly right. Exactly freaking
gotcha.
right.
What's up, Tickles? Love your brother here, man.
So So yeah, quantum cat. Okay, so you get your base layer NFT. They're great. Secondary actions kicking off. But again, next day you get your first trait. Everyone's looking to see their updates, and we're definitely starting to see some really cool, unique things. Something about this, the shadows. I mean, there is something about how deep in this shadow realm is your cat. You know, like is it Shadow Realm 3, 1, 2, Void?
Oh, let me see the crimson. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're backgrounds, but I think there's something more to it as far as like, I don't know. I wonder if there's gonna be milestones where certain things happen for certain cats who are at a different place.
You want to know what I'm
outta
curious
here,
about?
English. This guy. I love English.
A little bit of Saturday trolling never hurt anybody.
That's just what that's just his thing.
Huda, here's the thing, and actually for you English too, that I've been postulating, seeing the pudgies, right? Like this, like and Henry brought it up. This airdrop meta to certain holders. I think quantum cats are gonna kill it in that regard, because if you're gonna airdrop anything to anybody when it comes to, if you're going to play that, right, like you want custodians of your new tech or your new protocol, where have you, that's the community you're probably going to want to airdrop. So I'm curious to see a year's time from now if your quantum cat will be paid for via airdrop, Huda.
I think it will, because we've already seen this start to happen. So we started seeing this happen in like RSIC,
right?
Right. Yeah. Yep. RSIC was airdropped to node monkeys, to puppets, to frogs. I think there were a handful of other collections, and there was some randomness to it. But dude, those got up to 0.1, let's say 0.13 or so. And some people got multiple of those. Yeah, I think the quantum cat is something that'll pay for itself. Like, I'm holding a little Bitcoin that I'm just trying to be very, very safe and smart. But if these dip to like 0.2, I'm grabbing one. Even though I sold one, I will absolutely buy back in, because
you'll go back.
My conviction's stronger than it was, even at mint time, and it was already very, very high. Like, my conviction, I think these will be half a Bitcoin in this next run coming up, and I think that's easy.
Sure.
I'm at the point where I won't be totally shocked if they're more like 0.75, maybe 1 when they're at peak. When we're at that peak FOMO part of the market, I think they could. There's so few.
Peak euphoria is literally that. You can't predict it, right? Because it's so outlandish.
Ooh, shit, English. What'd you get? Holy cow, dude. And how much was that? Because those are like, I thought those were like 3-4 Bitcoin.
English was sniping.
Dude, he bought a sub 1K. By the way, I didn't realize that the ordinal miners are sub 20K, which I know that doesn't matter at all, but I for 1 Bitcoin, dude, shit. Wow. What do you mean minted?
Minted a sub 1K, damn.
How do you mint a sub 1K? Oh, you yourself. No, hang on. I don't understand. How do you mint a sub 1K?
Now I'm getting confused. Explain English. We're still talking about quantum cats, right? He's not talking about RSIC or just he.
No, I think he's talking a whole other collection.
Yeah, he bought a sub 1K rare sat or something. I don't know.
So let me pull this up. A newly released collection of sub 1Ks. So these were minted, right? And they just went for sale for the first time?
Right on.
Do I have this right? So these would have been inscribed long ago. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, shit, dude. Really smart play. Fuck.
What are those going for?
Floor's 1.4 Bitcoin. I do think sub 1K are going to hold that value. I really do. Tickle, did you get one too?
I don't even want to get into that part.
The early ones, like
yeah,
sub 1K shit.
I really would love to see the Bitcoin ecosystem, communities, whatever, like move past that.
Like stand on merit, like accomplishments, not early.
And not just that. Like I think there's better narratives to be had than like first. You know, I really
Except for the first.
except for the first. Yeah, sure, fine.
Like sub
That
1K
counts
is
for,
legit.
it counts for something, of course. Like I don't think you can dismiss it, man. I'm just like a little bit tired of that being the main point being highlighted the majority of the time. It's like there's so much, I don't know, there's just better stuff that could be done in that regard.
Yeah.
I think in that realm they're sleeping or missing the point. I don't know, man. Like you have better examples in Ethereum and fucking even Solana or whatever, and like I think Bitcoin's got already such a unique and amazing narrative that for people to just continue to try to fight over like these like
it's
early it's like, okay, I got it,
and like this here sub 100K, like this is where it got silly, and this is where I get a little frustrated that people like Leonidas were driving this narrative of you got to like invent this like super artificial like rarity and storylines. Sub 1K doesn't mean shit. Sub 20K, it doesn't mean shit. Sub 10K probably doesn't mean shit. Like I do think there's a threshold, and I think like 1K I think kind of makes sense, but 10,000 is a lot. Like it is very hard to support a high floor price on a 10,000 collection.
But again, and solely on that narrative, right?
Yeah.
Like so, like if you do, man, I would expect the things to be like Fidenzas or something. Like again, something more palpable to people to understand than just like the SAT number. Like I don't know. I don't see people like in a, whether it's a virtual or an IRL museum, like standing in front of, hey, that's a sub 1K. Wow, it's amazing. It's like, gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, no,
by the
like,
way, I refresh my Quantum Cat all day now.
That's what I appreciate about the Quantum Cats. It's like, oh, there's some unique mechanics behind it. There's a storyline. There's a movement, right?
Yeah.
Others, I'm sorry, I gotta FUD it, bro.
I mean, I'm half there. I will not FUD the sub 10K bag. I won't do that. But yeah, dude, I am like literally probably 50 times a day refreshing my Quantum Cat, seeing if he's pulled in a new trait. Mine's pulled in very little. He's just got the eye thing going on. While I see so many other cats, in fact, a couple that looked like they turned into a mouse. It's really fucking cool.
Huda, do you realize that when you refresh your Quantum Cat on the web page, like the change could have already been pushed, but it's taken about an hour to pass through for it to reflect?
That's true. It could take a day,
Not the
probably.
website.
Yeah. Every time that layer flashes in there, I'm like, yeah,
come on, change.
Man. These guys have just captured the attention of everyone, the holders, the people outside. It's a magic collection here. I just think they're going to start looking cooler and cooler and cooler. And then who knows whatever else they've built in here that they've just not even teased or hinted at, right? Like there's just so much going on with this collection.
When is Far's next collection? Because
this was the vehicle to get there. Yeah, that's really the conversation. It's alpha. And I did talk about this in my video yesterday, but like this is really the alpha here, is that Far, the artist behind the Quantum Cats, behind that $250,000 Genesis cat that sold on Sotheby's, is a collection drop in here in 3 days. Like, good luck trying to get this. We don't know any mechanics. We don't. There is a collection on ETH, I think, called Elementals that'll probably get whitelist, I think. It was just referenced somewhere, and there's none of them for sale.
Yeah,
Flora we're going to talk about too. Yeah, but here it is. So OX Far. By the way, it's a really, really great looking collection here. We don't have price point. Like we've got no details. Let me see if I have anything on it here. But I mean, I guess the only thing that matters right now is keep up on this drop. This will be. I mean, it matters what price it mints at. If it's a half a Bitcoin mint, then maybe you're not going to be winning anything there.
Low supply too, right? It's like 500 or
512, tiny, like really pretty darn small. If these mint at 0.1, you should not miss this. If they mint at 0.15, probably the same. You probably shouldn't miss it.
I can't help but think. I imagine Outland is the one that's going to be managing this mint.
Launched on Gamma.
I think they're probably going to be allocated fully, right? Like I would hate it if they actually fucking just opened it up to first come, first served. You know what?
Yes, because Gamma's doing Floras And I think floors are, there is going to be a public and they're free, but I think most of those are getting allocated too. So yeah, that would probably make some sense. No
I mean,
listing. Oh, no,
I
we do
can
have it
appreciate
here.
a good gas war like anybody else, right? But when it comes to Bitcoin, I do think that there's like a gargantuan, disparity between the people that can front run you and the
It
people
gets
that,
dangerous.
yeah, it's just like, don't do that.
Okay, now we can use this maybe to help price things out. FAR does have artwork on Gamma,
Mhm.
33 edition, and the floor price is $5,000. So what is that? Like just over 0.1. That's really interesting. I don't know if that smells like an opportunity. If this is the FAR, he's launching a 500 edition collection. I would assume the mint price would have been maybe not that high, maybe not, like 0.1, but maybe like, I guess I don't know. This is really interesting. 33 editions. Is this our FAR? Like, is this, it is. Damn, man. Now, okay, so maybe what's different here is the new collection is going to be all unique, and this is like just 33 editions of the exact same piece. That, of course, not the best for value, right? But anyway, back to his new collection. What do you think? What do you think this will mint at, and what kind of potential do you see in it?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh, it's an auction.
Oh, there we
Dutch
go.
auction. Okay.
Cool.
Damn, and he's saying that other piece minted for 40 or $60. So okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. Interesting. It'll be an auction. I may make a run at that. English, you gonna try to get? I would assume so. And especially if you're refunded, right? Yeah. It seems like a can't miss, right? Yeah. I mean, it seems like a can't miss. We'll see. Okay. Well, ask for 2 for free, sir. Flares. That's the
That's the name.
Yeah, that's the new collection here. I think I was calling it frames, but no.
Now, frames is the Farcaster one, right?
No, hang on. Yes, yeah, dude, yes, I can. Yeah, damn, good lord, Flares. That is the new collection. Okay, so Flares is the new collection from the artist behind the Quantum Cats. That's what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, these are gonna be hot. Like these are gonna be really, really, really nice. So yeah, definitely gonna make a run at it. No reason to not. I don't see any way you lose unless just bids are astronomical, and they just might be, but we'll see. That's your alpha, man. You definitely want to be looking at flares, and that's in a couple days. Aside from that, you really want to be looking at Flores from Harto, which English, I saw you got a free one, so congrats on that, man. That was really cool to see. That's also going to be on Gamma. 10K collection, free mint. I think I checked yesterday. I have either 3 or 4 right now, which I'm really... So you get mints if you hold any of his pieces. I have his pole piece on ETH. I've got Golden Ratio. There's a third piece from another artist that if you hold that, you also get a mint. Just like CyberSea's mint from earlier in the week, the Deus Ex Machina. You get a free mint to Flores if you hold that. I do think maybe most of this collection's allocated, to partners and whatnot. Oh, I should have a mint through the miners as well. I think he dropped, I think Cliff had dropped a form to sign up for that. So I think I may even have 4 mints of this, which is awesome. This guy's like doing all the marketing perfectly though, as far as like how to grow his audience, like his basic collectors. Like Golden Ratio out there is his Sats is really his premium piece. I mean, that 0.39 floor, Golden Ratio at 0.11. He's just doing everything right, man. So Flores is going to be pretty freaking great. ETH is dead. It kind of feels it, doesn't it? Dude, I am less bullish on trademarks and signatures. I was really going to make a run on signatures, and then I just, like, something dawned on me. Let me pull them up.
Signatures is the eyeglasses or
like
the glass sunglasses.
No, you're thinking of Oviators.
Oh, okay. Did you got some of those, right? The Oviators.
Just one. Yep.
All right, and then you got the piece, right? Imagine.
The which?
We're in Oviators. You would be able to claim the sunglasses, but it would also come with some type of generative art or something like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, I bought it because it had fallen to like 0.09. I don't care. I don't want the glasses. I don't know. But I remember Signature at first looking at it and thinking, okay, I think Jack Butcher's going to be one of those top tier artists. He is one of the top tier guys, but he's so new. He's not built up the history that some guys like Tyler Hobbs and, you know, like Dmitry Cherniak have. But I'm like, is that Jack Butcher's future? So then I look at a collection like Signatures here, 200 editions, and I'm like, man, imagine having one of those top dogs, like a tiny collection of theirs, like a 200 edition collection. But then I realized Jack is different. He's not going to slow down his outputs. I think he's going to have a ton of collections that are small. I think we're going to see multiple collections from Jack that are 100 edition, 50 edition, 500 edition. Like, I've lost the drive or the desire to dive into this collection because of that. I don't think this is going to be special and stand out in a way that lots of others won't, and maybe some others will stand out even more. So, yeah, I've definitely cooled on Signatures here. And trademarks, I guess the same thing applies. I think they're great, and they're probably undervalued too, because when Jack hits a cycle, right, then everything in his ecosystem pumps. But I just think his output is going to be so much. This guy's just going to keep pumping out work because he's not, you know, he says, you know, the value of it is not his concern. He said that. So I think that means you got to be careful if you're buying that art as an investor and not just purely a collector.
That is key, man. That is key.
Right.
I think like as we go down further down this road, right, like it will become a lot more apparent, like the collector items versus the fine art that outlasts everything, right? Like and that's not to mean that either of them are not going to hold value and are going to have grails that are worth a lot of money. I just think it's important to distinguish between the two, right? And I like these, like I like trademarks, and also like Snowfro's, you know, race one as well was really cool.
Yeah.
But it's important to understand the distinction between a collector's item and, you know, a squiggle or what have you, where it's like that's fine art, that's his Genesis piece, that's something else, you know.
Does he give you Pac vibes at all?
Butcher?
Yeah,
I can say he gives me Pac tingles, but different. I don't have any fear that the dude's ever going to leave. I think Jack comes across instantly more genuine and actually like more intelligent. I think there's a lot more substance behind it. It's true. It's a very good point.
Yeah, like you don't want to walk around. I don't know. I think he's like in New York or in one of those big cities. Yeah, you don't want to walk around looking over your shoulder the whole time. I don't think he'll. I don't think he'll do what Pac has done. Although I don't know what your feels are about Pac, Henry. I'm not like gushing over him or anything, but you know, I think Pac might surprise people yet again in this next cycle, right? For good or for bad.
Yeah. I agree. Jack Butcher's not that. I think simply because he's doxxed. I think Pac wishes he was Jack Butcher in a way. Like, I know he likes being anonymous, and he can because he's such a giga, you know, millionaire, maybe billionaire, whatever. But Pac is not whatever Jack Butcher is. I don't know.
I like the OG artist vibes, you know, where they did want to bring value to their collectors.
I like
a lot of monies, or the, you know, like to me, X copy, like X copy's like at the top with that type of with his mentality.
Who's an artist you could think of that is like really personifies that? An artist who I could say Harto, but not big enough and more established enough.
Snowfro.
Somebody who's actively thinking about the value of their work and trying, like cares about their collectors.
This is
I mean, am I crazy to put X copy at kind of the top there?
I don't think he puts thought into it. I don't think he does it on purpose.
Well,
I think he does.
Well, with his Max Payne's.
That's true.
I think he does because like he kind of specifically stopped collaborating because he didn't want to. I say like collaborating, like just do you know how many opportunities he had to collab with projects to release something? Could have been looked at as cash grabby, but didn't want to continue to dilute his collections.
Yep.
So I just think he's always been pretty.
Supports his collectors.
Pretty classy.
Yeah, I like that.
Big time.
All right, I like that. I see it. Anyone else? And I'm going to wrap this in like literally the next minute here, guys. But any other artists you think that do like an exceptional job at that?
Not off the top of my head, but I mean, I think there's several out there. Like this is something that's a little bit more prevalent in the NFT world, I think, than it previously was in the IRL art gallery times. Like I'm not saying that it wasn't there. I'm just saying that pressure, right? That expectation, that narrative is a lot more prevalent in NFTs than in like the traditional art world of yore, right? Where you just created art for art's sake. And if your collectors or the galleries or the people liked it, then they would buy it, right? Like, and that was it. Like you didn't have this pressure to constantly provide value and not rub your collectors the wrong way. Obviously, you didn't have that proximity to them, right? And to the community as well. There's pros and cons to that. I as long as it doesn't, make the artwork suffer. Like I think like some artists thrive under that type of environment. Others, I think, crumble. Like I do feel like there's a lot of them out there that don't want to, have disgruntled collectors or feel that pressure and, their creativity suffers as a result. It's a wacky world, like definitely.
It absolutely is. All right, guys. I think that'll be the show for today, which I thought it was going to be a casual one, and it was, but for some reason it felt like really tight. I like today's show. I think that was a good time.
I got one comment.
Yeah.
One random ass comment. I might have been the only guy who didn't check all my wallets for the Optimism airdrop. But,
shit.
Yeah. Am I the only one who didn't check? Because I had like Optimism drop on a wallet. It was like, $960 worth. So I was just throwing it out there. If you were like me and you missed it, check your wallets.
What was the requirement or criteria to get that?
Bro, I have no idea. Literally, I have no idea. I'm like, I don't know why this, my hardware wallet of all wallets, like my main, like Henry the Great wallet was the one that had it in there. It was Gmeow who told me. He's like, I checked the wallet and I had like X amount of money on there from Optimism. I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah. I should check mine. So no idea, because I don't interact with much of anything on there other than like a DEX.
Yeah, weird. I found mine accidentally, but I found it like months. They did it months before they even announced it. Like, you know how you can go in MetaMask and you can go in like that view that shows just your balance across all chains? Like it's just got this one page that shows everything you got.
Yeah, yes.
I went there once and I saw it was probably that $900. It was like half an ETH or something, or 0.6, whatever it was. But I saw that. I'm like, I left something over there and forgot. I'm like, isn't that the best, guys? When you find that money you left somewhere, like I didn't even realize it was like their airdrop. It was their little stimmy. So yeah, guys, if you haven't looked, definitely go check and see if you got that Optimism little drop. It's not small. It's bigger than that shitty ass rug drop. So.
Oh, what was rug, by the way? I didn't even check mine. Is it nothing?
I think it's nothing. I mean, last I've heard, it's not doing well. But I also heard people saying, just hold it, just sit and let's see if it's got another leg up here. We'll find out.
Sir, I am spending time with Madeline later today and tomorrow. Beautiful. Because she wants to get back into degenning.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. She wants to. She's like, Dad, I really want to like. We were talking the whole way out to Lake Placid about degenning, and she thinks like what we do is so cool. And she's like, I just want to learn it more and just understand it better. So yeah,
I saw Beanie. Dude, Beanie tweeted out that he's telling his teenage daughter, get in Telegram and get on X. Like, this is like, go do that. Stop playing for snap points and, like all that shit.
Yep. Make some money. Make some fucking money.
These kids could be financially independent by the time they're 21, right? Like, they really could, and they should be trying.
Yep.
I would love my kids to, like, as my oldest daughter is 13. I would love for her to try doing this stuff. They got that game mind, they could do it.
Well, dude, think of them playing Nifty Island and doing the play to airdrop. Like, Madeline could farm my VXs on Nifty. Like, why not? Could set her up with the Guardian.
Make from doing that?
I mean, like, if she plays Fortnite, I'm like, just switch from playing Fortnite to playing Nifty Island. And you know what? Even if you made $300, or who fucking knows, it could be more than that. It's something. You're spending time making nothing. So spend some time, understand the culture, and at least you have a chance to make something. And like, even with your kids, you could use the Guardian, put it in a wallet that you don't have to worry about them ever fucking up, and get them started playing something they're a little bit more familiar with like a first person shooter.
So real simple. They play, they earn. It is that simple.
It's play to airdrop. So I think the top, okay, you get a boost from certain collections. Kongs have like one of the highest boosts in Nifty Island. So if you're playing with a Kong, whatever the airdrop's going to be, you're going to get a boost from having Kongs.
By the way, this is a little
same with
change.
Pixels. Well, although Pixels, I guess, is I think they've got their allocation set. So I don't know if you can still play to earn in there, but that's another place you can grind out.
Got it. Okay. Last comment here. The CyberKong's creator program. Fucking very excited about that, man. Anyone who does make content, you can apply to get a Kong asset. It can be a Genkai, it can be a VX, it can be a Baby, and it could be a Genesis. You just got to make the case of why you're the person for it, right? Like, what are you making? Why are you making it? What's your experience in the game? And again, why are you the person to represent the brand? So, with that said, I'm most definitely applying for this thing. Do you know when the cutoff is?
To be honest with you, I don't think we have an official cutoff. I think we're just so not an official cutoff. We're reviewing applications. What I love about this is Kong's never really attracted. Oh, Assassin, yes, I'm in the car. I'm pulled over. Sorry, I know my audio sucks. I'll be working on that. But what I like about this is we're not going to be getting the KOLs of necessarily right now, which I'm happy about because I hate most of them. KOLs. I think what we're like the key opinion leaders of
gotcha.
Most of them, they disgust me because they're gross bag shillers. I think at the end of the day, we're going to get this next class of people. Obviously, we have a lot of people that are into like the Ronin Network, gamers, people who are into art, provenance, things like that. I think we're going to get into some of these people early, like before their careers necessarily really take off. And the idea is to get people out there pushing their own content. It's not about like shilling Kongs. It's about wearing our brand while you push your content. So I like the idea of it. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Dude, I'm with you. Well, I mean, we've talked, of course. I am really trying, and I'm only applying for the Genesis Kong. I'm applying for nothing else, and I'm like literally not just like typing in a couple sentences and then submitting the form. I'm literally writing like a book for each section with links to like work done and shit like that. Like, I am really trying to get a Jenny Kong. I really want it, and it's like it's a thing for me. I'd keep forever. It's something I see a perfect fit there. So I'm gonna do it the right way, right? I'm gonna have the full story written out, the whole portfolio of work done, and kind of the vision going forward. But I like all the questions in it. It's asking like, what is it about the Genesis Kong, right? And like, who knows more about Genesis Kongs than somebody like you and me, right, Henry? I mean, kind of there at the start of it all. So
yep,
I can't wait. I'm gonna submit this by this weekend though, by Sunday. So I'm really looking forward to that. But it's an awesome initiative. That was the point actually. So if you guys are making content, go apply. There's no downside, right? I think everybody should be doing that. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. I'm going to see my lovely little girls go perform at school. I can't wait. They play clarinet and flute, so it's gonna be a lovely little performance. And then we're going to the bagel shop and getting some salt bagels and bialys. Maybe I'm getting a little white fish like salad. Fuck, I'm getting pretty excited. I don't get out much, guys, so I'm a little excited. You're probably starting to realize that here, Biggie Henry knows, but that's just my thing. So whatevs. Shit, I guess that's it. Guys, thank you again for joining. Tomorrow I'll see you again, 5-minute video. I'm not doing the outro. See you guys.
Take it easy. OBOT.
He leaves so quick.
He's like, I'm done. Bye. See ya.
Our 5R tribe. There we go. See you guys.
See ya.